Hello everyone. In this tutorial, we are going to learn CSM ecosystem in ServiceNow, as well as we will walk through the ServiceNow tool. This is the third session. So in this session, we are going to understand what is CSM, which we already covered as part of our part 1 and 2. CSM versus ITSM and type of record. Then we have CSM ecosystem, some of the application features which will be enabled as and when we are going to enable the CSM. CSM communication channels, CSM with CSTM. I'll create a separate video for CSTM. CSM application features and plugin. So we are going to demonstrate which plugin we need to enable in ServiceNow, and we'll have a quick walkthrough in ServiceNow for CSM modules. In my previous videos, in part 1 and part 2, we covered how to take the customer workshop, what all requirements we need to capture in the customer workshop. It also starts from the CSM overview and capabilities. So initial few topics which we already covered in part 1 and part 2, we are going to skip. I request you to please go through part 1 and part 2 to understand more in detail. We also covered in part 2 what requirements we need to present to the customer and what requirements we need to gather in the customer sessions. This is part 3, where we are going to understand the complete ecosystem of CSM when we implement, as well as we'll go through the tool overview. So let's quickly jump on what is CSM. That we already explained, but I'll summarize. So CSM is customer service management. That means here we are talking about the customers who are basically purchasing any product or services from any of the company. So here we have multiple terms that we are going to learn in our next session. But let's in this example, you can see we have a customer and we have a service provider. So when service provider sells some product to any of the customer, during the selling process, or once the customer purchase the any product or any service, they are looking for some warranties, right? And such sort of things are covered in customer service management. So if we buy any product from the market, and in case we have any issues with that product, then usually we gives a call. That call lands on customer service management application. That application could be in ServiceNow or could be in any other tool. Okay, so this customer relationship is maintained in CSM module in ServiceNow. So when someone gives a call for any issues, case is the primary entity which gets created in ServiceNow. This slide also we already covered as part of our previous sessions. So in detail, please go through those sessions. At high level, here customer is basically using one of the omni-channel to connect to the customer support for raising any issues. When they connect to the customer support, they raise a interaction record. So interaction record is something which is simple, which usually have the information or chat information which is happening between the agent and the customer. Once agent understand it should be an issue and should route it to any specific team, then they create a case. And if there is a backend support required, then it goes to the IT support team to fulfill it. In case any field service is required, the case routed to the field service support. Field service support is another concept in CSM where agent basically visit the customer's place and fix the issue at customer place. Okay, so in FSM, all agents who are basically traveling from one location to another location, all those can be tracked through GPS. So there we have a new term called work order. So in case requires a field service support, then cases are converted to the work order. It's same process as we create incident or change. We create the problem and change from an incident. In same way, this case can also be converted to an incident, change, problem, request, or any work order. People who are basically using the self-service, those are customers, are fall under tier 0. Tier 1 are the frontline agents. Tier 2 are the people who are basically fulfilling the request. So we covered this in detail in part 2. Please go through it to understand more. So this is CSM ecosystem. Here we need to first understand what the customer expectation is, and accordingly we need to set our system. So then we have the omni-channel experience. You can see the customer can connect through any ways. Okay, those channels are called omni-channel. So customer can give you a call, customer can use the service portal, customer can use the virtual agent chat, customer can use any of the social media application to connect to the customer service. All these channels called omni-channels. Okay, once this omni-channel are used, then a customer case is raised into the system. And as I said before, customer case, if it goes to the agent, one interaction record also created. So before I go there, you can have a look here. We need to have a one service portal defined for customers or consumers, and that can also be used as an omni-channel for the customers. Now once a customer raised any issue, then a case record is created into the system. So in ServiceNow, we have CSM FSM configurable workspace where the agents can work. Okay, so this ecosystem talks about what all systems are used in CSM ServiceNow module. Okay, starting from when customer is raising a concern until that particular concern is solved. So this CSM FSM configurable workspace is used by the CSM application as well as field service application. Okay, here the agent does have the access to the knowledge articles. When any case is raised, they can use the knowledge article to solve any of the case. Few of the key terms also used here. That is part of ServiceNow data structure, which we are going to capture in one of our coming sessions. So account, contract, contact, entitlement, and product. Account is basically the company who is basically selling the product. Okay, now if company sells a product to a company, then the other company is also considered as an account. And the people who are basically utilizing the product can be the consumers. Okay, here contact are the people who are actually working in this account. So the employee who are the primary contact for that particular account is considered as contact. Product is the product or services that are sold to the customer, and the contract is the contract which is against that particular product. So if I sell a product with 2 years warranty, this contract is going to have the start date and end date of that warranty. It will also have the type of support. It could be the standard, premium, or very critical sort of support. It has what sort of support, whether it's a 24/7, it is 8x5, that is also covered under contract. Entitlement are basically the component of that particular contract. So if the contract might have multiple components, okay, so one contract can have multiple entitlement, and entitlements has its own type of service and support given it. Entitlement has what schedule like 24/7 or 8x5, as well as it has like whether this particular product services are by per unit or any other ways. So there can be a contract which can sold like in 1 year, I can only take the service 2 times. Such type of entitlements are written for any of the product. They can say, okay, I can only handle 5 cases in an year. So entitlement has that per unit concept mentioned for that particular contract. Okay, now if that case record requires the further resolution by any of the technical team, then we need this particular integration, where if any technical issues are there that to be fixed. So consider your hardware requires some patch update. So you have a router that requires a patch update, then it goes to the second layer, tier 2 team, where the IT agents are going to connect to the router and push the particular patch to fix any issues or to upgrade it. This integration is called CSM integration with service management. Okay. Now we can also integrate with any third-party application. So when a case is created, it has multiple other components also involved. So case can be routed to a specific assignment group. It does use the flows and workflows. Case can have tasks also associated with it. Case can also be escalated in case it's not been worked for some time. So in CSM, cases and the accounts can be escalated. AI can also be used. We also have the service level defined for any contract. Dashboards and reporting is another component. Communication and notifications are another component. And support processes. These are the processes in case we have any issues, how it needs to be handled, at what point it has to go to the incident, problem, change, or it will create a work order. That support process is also to be defined. In case this requires the field service, then work orders are created. In work order or in FSM module, we have multiple different terms called work order, scheduling, dispatch, inventory management, mobile apps, and which can be offline and online. And we can also track the agent location. As I said earlier, the knowledge management is the key, which is used in configurable workspace, and agents can use as well as customer can also use the communities to solve their own issues. So if I have some issues today, I'll go to community, I probably find out the solution over there. In case that is done, then this is called the case deflection, and I need not to go to system and create a case. Such sort of knowledge management is required in CSM. OCM is something, if we have some change to be communicated to everybody, then we need organization change management, and that has to be communicated to everyone. So here we talk about like when we have a omni-channel where the customer can connect with the agent. For agent experience, we have the workspace. Agent, once agent do the analysis, if it needs to be connected with any other ITSM or service management application, then we can go to the service management experience, where it can further connect with any incident, problem, and change to fix the case issue. Once it is done, then it goes for the resolution experience. In resolution, we discussed it can be the self-service through communities to the customer, as well as the agents can use the knowledge management to fix it. So communication and survey, that is the key. Once the issue is fixed, a communication is required and a survey can be triggered. Right? So this covers the whole ecosystem and covers the application features and the component which will be used in CSM module. Now let's have a look what all omni-channels do we have for CSM. So in CSM, let's start from here on top. CSM is also enabled on the mobile. From mobile CSM application, customer can raise any issues. Email is another mode of communication. Social media, communities, alerts. Walk-up module is one of the module in ITSM as well as in CSM. This module ensures we have a kiosk set up in the offices, and customer can come to those kiosks and the issues can be fixed then and there itself. Customer, in case we have a queue over there, then we can have the queue management set up in walk-up, and person can be assigned within the queue. In case customer would like to take an appointment, then walk-up experience also provided functionality to take the appointment. Then we have the web service portal, where customer can connect on the service portal himself and then raise the issue. Chat and virtual agent is another mode where customer can have the communication with the agent through chat, and virtual agent can also provide the solution based on the knowledge article, as well as can capture the requirement of the customer and then create a interaction record in system, where interaction record can further convert to the case. So you can see here we have a customer here, and then service provider is the person who is basically having this particular setup of the channels and the any CSM tool. So customer connect through one of the channel, and when this particular conversation is captured in interaction record. Interaction record is further, if requires a follow-up, this creates a case. Okay, so sometime interaction record might not be converted into a case. For an example, it might be the informational ask, when is the next holiday schedule for my company, right? Such sort of information. Who is the primary contact setup in my company to raise the case? Such sort of communication will only be handled in the interaction, and the interaction can be closed. It does not require a case to be open. Anything where any further resolution is required, that turns into a case. And as I said, this case can further connect to the integration through service management integration in case any incident, problem, change, or work order to be created. Then it is always connected to the agent, and agent can take the required action to solve this particular case. Now we are moving to one of the topic, that is CSM with CSDM. CSDM is Common Service Data Model. Okay, CSDM is a model on that the whole ServiceNow is basically working. We have the foundation data not only for CSM, but if you see user groups, location, department, business unit, companies, that foundation data is also used in the ITSM module as well. So CSDM model is basically setup. This is a setup or a framework sort of model where it shows how the tables in ServiceNow are going to connect. So we have here foundation model, model, design, manage technical services, and sell and consume. We have 4 quadrants. These 4 quadrants are actually connected with each other, and the relationship in CSDM model is predefined. It tells how the business service offering is actually connected to the application service, how the application service is further connected to the dynamic CI grouping. So that relationship is defined between the classes of ServiceNow, and so it prescribed basically those sort of relationship, and how it also tells us how the tables are connected with each other in ServiceNow. So this is kind of a best practice that we need to follow. Now let's talk about the CSM. In CSM, we are going to talk about few key terms, that is the account, contract, contact, and few more. So here you can see we have the account, contract, contact. Okay, these are also part of the foundation. We have the user, groups, location, departments. Then we will have the company's account, companies, right? Company is now inherited with the account. So this customer service model does have the account, contact, consumers, catalog items, sold product, install base, business service offering, and product model. All these are connected, and this is connected with CSDM model with a predefined relationship. Here you can see account, contact, and consumer. These are part of your customer service, and these are we does have the customer service manager to manage these. Okay, now in case customer would like to order anything, any product, we have the catalog item. Once the product is sold to the customer, that is marked under sold product of that particular account. Any sold product does have any underlying hardware that is marked under install base item. And when it goes to the market, we have the business service offering. From that, any business consumers using the catalog can request that particular product. Okay, now this particular product is also connected with sell and consume. So complete foundation data is actually connected with CSDM. I'll create one separate video for CSDM because this is little complex topic, but it's very necessary to understand this concept. Okay, now let's talk about CSM application features and the plugins, and we will go to ServiceNow and we will enable the plugin and we will quickly have a look. So the list you can see, we have one family plugin of CSM application, and when we enable the family plugin, it basically roll out all 25 component which is listed here. So let's go to tool and see the plugin and enable it. So this is a ServiceNow PDI, and we can write here plugins and then search for customer service management. So if you scroll down, you can see one family plugin, customer service management. Click on it and it shows a list of 25 plugins. Okay, I have already installed it. So you can see what all plugins would be installed. For easy view, we can see it here. Customer service is basically the core plugin. On that, the basic functionality of CSM is installed. Then we have the demo data. So demo data plugin can only requires in non-production environment. So this does help to understand how the components in CSM are connected with each other. Please ensure you are not rolling out this demo data in production environment. Then we have the workspace, we have the case types. These are the functionalities we discussed in our part 2 requirement gathering session, where we discussed like what all these case types are. Do we need it? So that sort of information we need to capture from the customer in our requirement gathering sessions. And in case we don't want it, then we are not going to set up it. And in case customer is looking for such things, then customer should be aware about the basic functionality, how it works, and then accordingly we need to set up. So performance analytics, we have the assignment workbench, we have the customer service request with request management. So this is the automatic integration set up between the CSM and other ITSM module like incident problem change. CSM contributor user, this is the role required like to raise the cases on behalf of any customers. Then we have service management. This is with ITSM and this is specific to the request management integration. We have the major issue management. We also discussed in our part 2. In case any of the case is supposed to be a priority 1 major issue case, then case can be converted to the major issues. And then we can have a process set up how the major issue management to be handled in the organization, and a proper communication can go out. We have the install base management. In case we are using the hardware product and support it, then we need the install base management. We have the proxy contact. So proxy contact is people who are basically can connect to raise any of the issues on behalf of the customers. Time recording for the agents, customer central for the agents, then performance analytics pack, workbench demo. So we'll see the workbench demo, and service base extension entities. This is part of the ServiceNow professional module. So in case customer goes for the service based model, then this particular plugin to be enabled. Service social integration, service case action. Case actions we discussed. Social integration is basically the integration with the social media, like it could be with Facebook, it could be with WhatsApp, and so on. Okay, then install base we discussed. Product entitlement, knowledge product entitlements. So this particular plugin ensure if we have a specific product related knowledge, customer sold out table has that particular product related to this knowledge, then those knowledge articles are visible to the customer so that the issues can be automatically fixed by the customer when they have a look on the knowledge articles on service portal. CSM on mobile, customer service household. This is another concept which is for the consumers. So if we buy a router and I am the primary person as a contact for that particular house, it's not always necessary that I go and raise a complaint for that customer for any of the issues to the customer service management batch, right? Anybody from my house, where those are the family member setup, can be done in this household service. They can also go and log a complaint on behalf of me. Case digest is another feature where the complete case summary is provided and logged to the case in the ServiceNow. So moving here on ServiceNow, here once you click on login, okay, all these plugins will be installed. And where we can see, if you see the customer service, if you write customer, so customer central is one of the topic we discussed, right? Where customer information is here. Customer service, if you write, we have the overview, we have the knowledge, we have my schedule, we can also manage the skills. Okay, so skills can be managed for the agents. So let's go through one by one, because this is very important to understand what all things we have in our system related to the CSM. So when you go to workshop, this is another point you need to keep in mind. You need to give a demo to customer for this particular tool. So in customer service, if we click on overview, we can see this particular overview dashboard. So this talks about how many cases are critical, how many unassigned, average customer satisfaction, open cases, open case not updated in 7 days, and few more metrics. If we want to add or edit this particular overview dashboard, then we can click here on edit and this can be updated. If we go to this knowledge, right, then we have this knowledge portal open. So here any knowledge articles related to any of the customer service, consumer service, customer service and field service knowledge can be maintained. So we can see here as of now in demo system we have the 12 articles, and if we want to create a new, we can create a new article from the knowledge portal with the if the person has a required role, and those can be logged here and it will be visible to the customer based on the user criteria setup. Then if we go further, we have my schedule. So in my schedule, this shows like how my schedule or how my calendar looks like. If I have any appointment for anywhere to fix any issues, I can go and do it. If I want to block a calendar, I can do it. So let's say if I block here, I can double click and I can set a new event here. Now let's move to the next, manage skills. So skills can be managed if you have a proper role. We can manage the skills. So if we click on the manage skill, it opens a portal like this where the skills are mentioned here, and we can add and remove people from using this button. So if the person has the sufficient role, then they can click on the assign and remove user, and skills can be managed. Users can also be add and removed. New skills can also create it from here. If we go further, this is the most important part, case. And we said like case can be also escalated. So all escalated cases can be visible here. Then we will also go through this customer part. In our next session, we are going to see and discuss about the partner, account, contract, consumer, entitlement, contract, and other related entities like products, asset, product model, sold product, install base. Understand the differences between all these terminologies. Okay, now let's understand the case. So let's go to all. open one of the case here. So this is one way. This is the UI from where we can open the case. Other ways, I can go to workspace. We can go to workspace and then we can open CSM FSM configure workspace. This is most effective way for the agent to work on the workspace. Here we can go to the list part. So workspace does have the overview, and but I just shifted to the list view. So this is workspace list view, and here you can see three icons. This is the home page, this is inbox, and this is list view. So to go to list view, click here, and then you can see all cases and case related functionalities you can see. So let's quickly have a look on this workspace as well. Cases, my case, open. Then we have the template. So similar to the incident template, we can create a case template so that case can fill up very quickly. We can have the case task, major issue management, customer related data like account, partner, contact, all can be visible here. Okay, so let's go to one of the case here. Now the case record is open. So as soon as case opened, you can see special handling notes. This such type of handling notes are very useful for the agent to take a decision. So you can see like urgent issue reported for this and change in entitlement. These are the two special handling notes are here. So this particular page talks about the basic detail of the case, where you have the channel, how the customer was connected, whether it requires any attention, what is the priority, what is the product asset install base, and what is the short description of the issue. This particular entity where all activities are noted down, including the emails, and this is the contact card where it shows about the contact. So here this particular case is raised for the Boxio account. Boxio is one of the customer to whom we are providing the services, and some of the contact. Who is the contact? George Warren. George Warren is one of the contact from Boxio account who raised this particular case. And to get more detail of this particular contact, George Warren, here are the more details. So in case we need to, as a customer agent, we need to connect to the George, we can have the details here. Okay, now customer information can also be visible here in detail. Any customer activities which has happened for this particular case in past are visible under customer activity. So if we go to this particular activity, we can see all related activities like this particular customer has 10 cases opened, 4 times person has had the interaction, right? The person is connected with 3 products. All that information is basically visible here. So any customer activities which is related to this account is basically listed here. So we can see there is one contract, and this particular contract is also added on 25th January. Now any work orders are there, those are connected here. Any interactions in past with this particular customer will be visible here. Any email we are sending, those will also be visible here. Okay, from here we can directly compose email, and that email can go to the customer. If you want to escalate this case, we can use this. In case any record time to be done by the agent, that this particular functionalities can be used. Here for this particular account, if we need to add any special handling notes, we can utilize this special handling notes. So basically this gives one consolidated view to agent to log multiple information against this customer. Okay, this particular case related all information can be visible very easily on this particular workspace part. That's the reason we do prefer to go to this workspace. So that's it for this session, and in next session we are going to cover the foundation data management for CSM, where we are going to talk about all key terms, where we are going to talk about the accounts, contract, partners, and a few other key terms like contact, partners, consumers, and many more. Thank you.